What's up guys, Jimmy Shellhammer, this is Country Traditions, and today I'm gonna show you the pre-season routine that I go through so I can get some of these big Florida bucks on the ground. Alright, so I am coming over here to the property that we dubbed the honey hole because it's produced 2 bucks over 100 inches here, and it is the smaller piece of property I have, so really there's only 2 areas that I can hunt over here. Like the landowners have like 15 acres or so, but they live on most of it essentially, so I have to get up in the very back. So there's a lot of surrounding woods around me, but to draw the deer in here, I have to run a feeder. But I've got 2 spots set up, and the feeder looks like it's low on corn. And of course, I wait until it is 12:12 in the afternoon. So I like to come in the middle of the day. In Florida, it's about 150,000 degrees right now. And as we're driving through the field, I have my camera going off. There's a doe here right now. So you just never know. But as a general rule, whenever I come to a stand or the feeder or whatever, I like to make sure it's the middle of the day because you do have less of a chance of bumping deer. But around here, we're hunting, you know, your suburban farm deer. They're used to trucks, tractors, and everything else. She's literally sitting here. She's still there. You see her? I mean, yeah, go on. It's feed time anyway. Yeah, go in the woods. See, so I told you, she's literally sitting in the woods 20 yards from my truck. 20 yards. She's right here. Don't worry, I'm gonna feed you. I'm gonna fill the feeder up. So you can see there's not a lot of food sources right now. There is a lot of fresh growth and grasses and stuff, so, but that reiterates my point that these deer are used to trucks and tractors and, you know, people. We're not in the city, but we're also not in like Missouri or Kansas where we hunt, where they might see the farmer 3 times a year, maybe a tractor. Like, other than that, you know, she's literally just got her head down feeding in the woods, so. Oh well, it's feeder maintenance time, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull up here because I'm gonna weed eat. Try to keep the grass down, especially because the higher it gets, I won't be able to see my camera. I gotta keep track of all my deer over here. I did have a good one show up last night. He came in during the day once already. I believe it's the same deer. Real good brow tines. Normally around here we don't have that good of brow tines, and he has good brow tines. She's right there. Crazy. All right, so got the Tacticam over here. I leave the antenna down because if I leave it up, birds like to land on it and they move it. So it's actually turned. You can see I don't have it super tight, so it has turned on me a little bit. So straighten it up. Try to tighten it up a little bit. I want to aim it at the feeder. I don't mind it pointing over a little bit. So as you can see, the grass is super tall. They come in here and they've literally been up in here so much that their saliva has gummed up the feeder. You can see they literally had to been working at it. So good thing about that is at least there's still plenty of corn in here. I thought they were eating too much of it. They weren't eating any of it. They were just coming up and eating out of it. That's why they were doing that. So I'm gonna clean it up, get it broadcasting the way it should be. That should help with the bucks if they're coming around. A lot of bucks don't like to come up under the feeder. If it's at least scattered around the feeder, once I weed eat, then they'll come in here, they'll feel a little more comfortable. As you can see, I mean, we are secluded back in here, right? Up on this big ridge. So like right here is the property line. All the way down, so I can only hunt right up here to the feeder. My stand's right up there, and then a little bit over there. I've got a little section on the other side, and that's actually where I shot Shifty over there. Again, they own about 15 or 20 acres of this, but this is the only area that I can really hunt because, you know, we drive by all the house and all that stuff. So, but as you can see, these deer, you know, trust me, the bucks aren't that tame. If they were that tame, it'd be a little easier. Whew. Well, I can say the mosquitoes are terrible middle of the day. It's just because this grass is so high. We've had so much rain. Hurricane Debbie just came through, so it's pretty bad. But weed eating is part of the game here. You know, it helps keep, obviously, it's easier for them to get around, get down to the corn, but it's better on my camera because now when I get that buck in the background, I can actually see what he is without all the freaking, you know, seed pods blocking it. So it was worth it. I got this mowed down and I saw that the feeder wasn't putting out like it should be. Did save me some corn, but we'll top it off with a bag. It's flowing good. And go throw another bag over here, throw another camera up on the other side, just see if there's any different movement over there. All part of the summer fun. Hopefully it works out come bow season. This right here is the blind that I shot Shifty out of. So I actually got the ladder stand hung up in this tree. That fence line right over to there is the property line. So I really only have this little area here. So I got a mineral block, regular old camera. We're gonna hang this old school camera and just see if the bucks will come over here more. I know they're in the area because I've seen pictures on the feeder. They're just not coming into the feeder. So if I can put the mineral lick over here, that'll help. I've already got the stand up, so I'm gonna do it before I lose all my blood because of these friggin' mosquitoes. I've never seen this freaking bad in the middle of the day. It's terrible. All right. We're going with the old school, right? We're gonna start this bad boy. We already got some pictures on there, but hey, all right. Normally I take a little more time and I set the date, but I didn't set the date before I got here. Mosquitoes are destroying me. I mean, big ones, like pterodactyl size. I don't know why they're so big over here. So it should be good though. We got the ladder tucked over here. All out. I can put a mineral lick right over here. Camera. Over here's my feeder. So if the bucks are funneling through, I've seen them feeding around out here. It's just a nice, quiet, secluded spot, you know. But I mean, back over here, I've had a lot of people working, like, you know, farm workers, while I was sitting in the blind. And then, like, right back over there in that clearing, that's where the houses are. So, like, in the back is the only spot I can come. There's a sanctuary over here and a big mine over here that they can get on. But depending on what's going on over there, it may push them off. So, I said, this is suburban. It's weird, but you just got to put your time in, do what you can, and can't pattern them. Just got to go sit. So that's why we put in the hard work here during the summertime, so it pans out in spring or the fall. All right, y'all. So I am in the middle of doing all this, getting all these feeders set up, and it's just never ending. There's always something going on the farm. So my dad called and said a friend of ours, Lucky, is on his way with his bulldozer because. Little side note that we haven't really talked about or mentioned, we are going to be building a barn dominium. So we have to prep the pad. We've been doing the plans and all that fun stuff. So in a way, technically, officially, today will start the house build. Oh yeah. It's a big load you got there, sir. I think this will be big enough to do what we need to do. It's good to know people. to go up through this way? Yeah, everything in the truck. I just had to add a line to the pump runs off the truck. Jack it up and down, which is way better. Quiet. Pretty be loud in there. Alright y'all, so it's been a busy day out there trying to get all the feeders set up, and then you saw we had the bulldozer dropped off, and earlier I dropped my bow off because it looks like the drop away is hitting the fletching, and they called me and said they can't get it to redo it. They sent me pictures and it's not doing it, so I don't know what the deal is. You know, there could be a lot of things. It's an older drop away, but it's not like, it's still functioning fine. It's shooting fine. It wasn't that, like, I just wanted to get it to pretty much make sure it was gonna shoot fine. So they greased it. You can see where it's not hitting at all. Makes no sense. So I'm gonna come in and pick it back up. We're gonna keep shooting it, and if it doesn't do it again, then we're good. So just part of the pre-season, getting back into shooting the compound. So they let me come back in and look at all these bows in here. So it's obviously archery season, and well, it's almost archery season. Everybody's getting ready, so check this out. Look at all these bows. Even got some recurve down here. Pretty cool. And over here is the paper tune, so you can see what they paper tune through there. Got that. So pretty neat setup, so I appreciate them letting me come back in here, and we're gonna go ahead and go home and shoot this thing and make sure it is on, and see if it doesn't redo it. We're gonna bring this thing out. Hopefully I can get on a hog. First thing we're gonna do is go hunt public land, so in Florida. We got some shooters, but nothing crazy, but you never know. All right, y'all, so I got back, I got my bow. Of course, one of them, the fletching fell off, so I only have 2 practice arrows, which, whatever, it's fine. I get extra steps because every time I shoot, I have to walk back. Every 2 shots, pull my arrows. And I came out to shoot, and my truck was in the way, which I moved. The trailer's over there. We just got back from the Buckmaster show, so if we met you out there, hey, if you're a new subscriber. So, bow's back. They couldn't figure out what's wrong with it. I've got a new single pin sight. So, single pin. It's actually kind of cool. Let me set this down. I've got too much crap. So it's got, you see, 2 buttons on top. If I push those 2, it lights up. Let's see if you can see it. Kinda. It's hard to see with the GoPro. There we go. So you can see it right there. If you've ever used one of these, they're kind of weird. So like every bow's different. One, you know, every bow's got different poundage. The arrows shoot different. So you shoot it at 20, get it dialed in at 20. Then you put it to the 40 yard. You shoot it at 40. You adjust it as you're shooting to get it dialed in at 40. When you're done with that, it will show you, there's like, it comes with like 50 little pieces of paper. So you take these right here. So all those, right, comes with a whole thing of those. Once you get your bow sighted in at 20 and then at 40, you take and find the one that correlates and matches that one. So all that being said, I took it to the bow shop because I saw that issue. They couldn't find any problems, so here we are. So now I'm gonna shoot it at 40, make sure that it's dialed in. Then I can put the proper little range sticker thingy, and then hopefully I'll be good to go. which it's fine. I'm gonna do a couple more. We're gonna get it kind of dialed in. We should be good to go. I mean, pretty good. Not bad. I've had a deer down here in this little spot for 2 years, maybe 3. Last year for sure, it was him. I knew if I gave him 1 more year that he would turn into something nice. And he showed up, I want to say it was middle of June, and he was looking good. And I knew if he kept growing that he was going to be a stud, and he has blown up into a giant. I mean, it's hard to tell because of the velvet and just because there's a lot of stuff in here. But I want to say he's got probably 12 scoreable points, if not more. He might be in the teens. A lot of trash on his base. He's got kickers. He's just a beautiful deer. Big, old, mature Florida whitetail. The best part is that he is literally on my farm. So like right here is my shop where I make all my hats and fun stuff like that. And when I'm in there, sometimes my camera goes off and there he is. So I want to showcase to you guys that just because you have a small piece of property doesn't mean that it can't hold giants, that you can't get it done. This piece is on our 82-acre farm. It is probably 2 acres. That is it. Surrounded by pasture. If you can hear in the background, we got the interstate back here. The nice thing about it is you don't have to be too quiet in your stand. The bad thing is you can't hear them coming, but I'm gonna go in here, we're gonna freshen up the mineral. They've crushed the minerals this summer just because it's been so hot, and it's a growing season here in Florida. You know, it gets hot and they need the minerals. So I'm gonna go in, we're gonna weed eat it. We're almost a month out from opening day, so if I don't do it now, the problem is it's going to bring my range way in because there's some heavier branches and stuff, so I won't be able to get a good shot through. It's just too thick. So let's go in there, we're gonna weed eat it, put that mineral out, we're gonna freshen up everything, get it set. Ladder stand's already been up, I put it up in the hunting season last year, middle hunting season. So I had this deer on camera last year. Like I said, I just stayed out of here. I didn't hunt here at all last year. So it can be hard to get it done here. They're very sporadic and there's no patterning these deer at all. But hey, let's get in there and see what happens. My goal is this year to get it done on this 2-acre piece on our farm. Never shot a deer here. We're gonna make it happen. We'll put out some protein. It's a little late, but they're probably done growing, but I had some protein left over because I have been feeding some pellets. It's hard to feed them here. We got a lot of does, not a lot of bucks. I mean, there's a good number of bucks, but they get in there and the does just demolish my protein. So most of the protein goes to the does, which is fine. We want healthier deer, but I like to get a little protein. The size of this deer, if he had had protein all year or all summer growing, there's no telling what he could have blew up into. But you can see, it's my little gate down that way. Property line right here, that is not our property. Over there, those woods are our property, but this runs down that way. And you can see this is my little secret. I got the honey hole on the other property. Taylor named this one the bachelor pad because first 2 years, all I got was bucks in here. And I get bachelor groups in here all the time. 4, 5, 6 bucks at a time. Good problem to have for sure. I did have a doe in here. She was coming religiously. Had her fawn in here with her. Really cool to see that. I love that. But she's been pushed out since, and now all the bucks are back. So we're gonna get in here, get it ready to hunt, get out, wait till hunting season. Of course, whole family of friggin' raccoons. I swear, they're always in here eating my damn corn. If I got minerals out, they will go to the mineral. If I put protein out, they'll go to the protein. If I had corn out, they'll tear the corn up. They're a pain in the ass. All right, y'all, I don't get too fancy with my minerals, as long as it's got a lot of salt in it, but this one here, $5 at Tractor Supply. Can't beat that. I'm gonna show you what they have done to the other one I had up in here. You can see the lick marks. That's all that's left. Deer tracks. So they've been in here just hammering this thing. So we're gonna go ahead and throw this one in here, obviously. As you can hear, those are semis going by. The interstate is right there. see it out there flashing. So it gets loud down here. Like I said, they can sneak up on you. Got the camera right over here. Boom. And then you can see it's pretty thick in here. And ladder stand right there. They usually come from the neighbors, right? This is kind of a big sanctuary. They don't hunt over there. They've got cows. It's like 240 acres. A lot of pasture, not a whole lot of woods, but there's a decent chunk of woods right here. So I think the deer bed over in there somewhere, and this is how they slip in and out. They don't like cows. Whenever the cows are around, they're pretty scared of the cows. I have noticed less deer when he's got his cows in this pasture. He'll rotate his pastures. When they're in here, I get less. But I actually had that deer show up for the first time in 2 weeks, and all the cows are in there. He even had his bull in there, which bulls will cause a huge racket and be a huge pain in the ass, but you just never know. You can see it's pretty thick. We're gonna get all this knocked down, show you a little before and after, and then we just wait and let it soak till hunting season. I'm excited. It's gonna be a good year. We're gonna make it happen. We're gonna get this big boy. It's gonna be my personal best Florida buck by far. Debbie just came through and knocked down a bunch of trees. I got some real big branches down back here, so in all reality, what it's gonna do, it's gonna force the deer to come out, cross the fence in front of me from the neighbor, instead of crossing and kind of coming in behind me. So technically, you know, I thought about coming in here with a skid steer and moving it, but why? I can just leave it like that and it'll kind of make a natural funnel now. They'll feel comfortable hopping that fence, so throw this right next to that one. But look at that. So, not too much, right? That'll help. I got this little alley down here. They can come in. They will come in from behind me from time to time. Just depends on where our cows are too. Early in the morning, but you can see I mowed a little path right here. So I'm gonna have them, that way they can cut across and it gives me like a 20-yard chip shot. Got the stand tucked in over here. Barely see it. Got a feeder back there that I had some protein in. This has had protein in it all year, but a friggin' ants got in it and just gummed up everything. So I'm gonna go check it. I've got it all wide open, trying to get the ants out. Let's see. Sometimes the deer will still find it and they'll still nose it out. So as you can hear, it's loud. And there's still a bunch of trees down in here from before. I got to come in here and clean it all up, but ants are finally out of it, but yeah, there's still some in there. There's no pellets on the ground. It was going off, so either it's not going off anymore or the deer are coming and eating it. Either way, they can nose it and get some protein. So in theory, this big buck could have been getting it. So still early. I haven't named him yet, by the way. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of put it out for vote maybe and see if we can come up with a name for this guy, because he definitely deserves a name because he's big. This is where it's gonna happen. I feel good about this spot. I didn't come in here at all last year. It's grown up even more, super secluded. This is gonna be the biggest buck I've ever shot in Florida. All right, y'all, we just got a nasty storm. Got stuck in the skid steer, and then Taylor called me and asked where I was, and she's like, I see deer. And I was like, oh, cool, what do you see? And she saw my bachelor group that I've had on camera. Of course, I can't get a good shot of them now because they're just where I can. I'm gonna try to run to the back and see if I can get them from a distance. Just a glimpse. Just barely see them.
All right, y'all. I was down working with the skid steer, trying to get our property ready for this barn dough we're building. And Taylor tells me, oh, hey, there's some deer back here Kendall saw. And I was like, okay, what is it? A bunch of does? She's like, no, they have horns. So I ran over here. As you can tell, I'm out of breath. I grabbed the big camera, ran back there, a bachelor group of $5. One of them was my shooter, and I just got over there in time. He was the only one I could see. So you see, that deer is beautiful. I've got a bunch of pictures of him, very sporadic. I haven't seen him in probably a week, and he showed back up, so I'm pretty excited. We're getting ready to go down south for our opener down in South Florida, but he is on the list. All right, y'all, that deer right there is giant. If you want to see 2 other big Florida bucks, check out these 2 videos here. Thanks for watching.